is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, R.E.D here, and this is a DC Legends video. So I am finally going to do what I've been promising to do for the longest. I'm going to do a full beginner's guide. Now, originally I tried to do a series where it was going to be like through campaign, each node that you want to go through, this is who you should farm, this is who you shouldn't, da 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 da. And I kept like trying to go back to that series, but other things came up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer out all of the information I can at this moment, from R.E.D Alerts to campaign to PVP, all that stuff. There's also two questions I'm going to try to kind of specifically answer here. One of them comes from Adam Ellis. Oh, wait, let me make sure. Yep, Adam. Oh no, Chris. Oh, actually, you know what? By the way, so Chillsta and Adam Ellis both asked me these questions. Adam Ellis, I don't have yours up in front of me right now. I got the wrong image. I will get to it in a second, so hold on for a minute. But Chillsta said, dope video, bro. Thank you. I was wondering if you could make a video for beginners, like what team they should go for and what to spend gems on, stuff to keep, and stuff. Keep it up, bro. All right. Thank you, Chillsta. Love you. Now, the next one, the next bit of information, this also came from Adam Ellis, the one I was saying before. He was on that same comment, that's why I got confused. As for a question for Riddle Me This, I think if you all could discuss how to spend gems the best way for early to mid game, would be helpful for many players. A lot of new players just jump in at buying character frags from the store, but I think it might be more viable to spend gems on upgrading gear, leveling up tunes already unlocked. Might be a fun discussion. I don't know. Hope all is well. Thank you, Adam. All is well. Well, most is well. Unfortunately, I don't have Dr. Zabaro. I don't have Hate Mail. I don't have Emperor Ging. My schedule has been like stupid busy, so it's not even them. It is me not having the opportunity to do anything. Like right now, I'm planned on this video being like 2 hours long, but I have like an hour and a half to record. And maybe not even an hour and a half now to look at the time. So I'm gonna try to get as much in as I can. I wanna do it like in one shot and not like just put this thing off. So I'm doing it as a Riddle Me This because these are questions that a lot of beginners and mid-game players are gonna have. So watch through the whole thing. I'm gonna publish this, I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna publish this video first, and then later on I'm gonna put the timestamps in the description below. So if you just wanna see the R.E.D Alert stuff, if you just wanna see the upgrade events, PVP, all that other stuff. Void Scanner, actually, I need to go ahead and write down Void Scanner. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm about to like go into. So before we even get into that, and you guys are like, Void Scanner, what could you possibly be doing a Void Scanner? There's a method. All right, so, and in fact, I'm gonna check on the Void Scanner now to see if this is going to apply for today's episode. But before I get into it, I drop DC Legends videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Please hit subscribe, please hit like, and if you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that too. So, I'm gonna check the Void Scanner real quick to see if we have it set up the way that I would like for it to be set. Yes, we do. This is perfect. Okay. First tip, when it comes to the Void Scanner, do not use your lanterns. I used to just use my lanterns every time I got them that day, didn't matter. Now you'll see I have 7, and I had like 20 something before, I think, like last week or something like that. I just used them all recently. Now the reason for this is twofold. Number one, you want to hold on to your lanterns, even if you can do the free scan, of course, and then you do the watch to scan, meaning watch the ads. I'd never realized how awkward that phrasing is. You can do the watch to scan, all that other stuff. Save the lanterns. Don't use the lanterns just yet. The reason being is that you want to wait until you have a character in the Void Scanner that you want. Then if you have 20, because the lanterns stack up relatively quickly, like faster than you think. So if you have like 20 or 30 lanterns, then you just keep going and use all of them there, and then hopefully you'll pull those frags once or twice. The second part of that is look at the other materials other than the frags there, right? You have, I can't remember their exact names, but in fact, I'll just hold on to this now. So you have the Chaos Crystal Shard. You have the, oh, come on now. You have the Inertron, sure, Inertron piece. And then you have as well the Quantum Field Energy, and then you have blue rings down there. Why am I pointing those out? Those level 3 gears are the rarest gears to get, the most scarce gears to get in the game. So if you're using it, if you get like a lucky break, I don't know, not all of the, so you know, not all of the characters are in the voice scanner. You have like a Donna Troy, you have Deadshot, Suicide Squad I think is in there, Swamp Thing obviously. So if there's a character that pops in there that you want, hopefully for you, I hope for you, it falls on a day when you have these exact materials as well, because the materials change as well. So for example, if I want Swamp Thing, this is the perfect day for me, because even if I don't get his frags, I still get a good chance of getting one of the scarcest gears in the game, as well as blue rings, as we all know, scarcest material in the game, and then on top of the gems and everything else. So save the lanterns for days where you have frags that you want. But if you're insistent upon, and not even insistent upon, for frags that you want, and hope to God that those frags that you want also come with the scarce gears that you want and the blue rings as well. That way when you're running your lanterns, even if you don't get the frags that you want, you'll still end up with one of the more harder to find materials in the game. So that's the first tip. That's the voice scanner. Check. Done. Now, next is PvP. PvP, and so you guys know I got like a whole mess of notes here. So that's why you see me keep looking down to make sure I don't forget stuff. So PvP, right now we have a Legends Showdown. I'm not doing this Legends Showdown because it's Ultraman. However, for those of you who are new to the game or mid-game, do every Showdown. It does not matter how many of the frags you get, just get as many frags as you can. The deeper you can make your roster, the better it is for you in the end. Ultraman, until they give him a rework, I don't really care about the frags. I've had him for like 2 years. He is, to me, one of the most useless. I mean, you probably seen me have a rant on him. He's one of the most useless toons in the game. God, he's so useless. So I'm not going for him. However, I'll go in there now. Things that you want to pay attention to also in the Showdown are the frags that you get over here as a reward. I just took Doomsday 7011, and that's partially because of Nightmare Campaign. I was curious about an experiment that I want to do later. Won't reveal. But Doomsday are the bonus rewards. Is the bonus reward. Now, for me, I'm not going at this event because, as you can see, I already had enough frags to take Doomsday L5. I don't care about taking him RB1. I'm probably not going to take him L5 because I don't think he's going to be useful to me. That'll be another tip about Purple Essence that I'll tell you later. But when you are early to mid game, go ahead and get as many as you can, because those are free frags, and those free frags will come around later. And who knows, later I may regret not getting the Ultraman frags now, because they may do some amazing rework on him and he ends up being incredible. I want to take him RB1, but I missed out on the frags that I could have taken here, and then I'm having to spend gems on it later if I wanted. So do your Showdown. And pay attention to trying to clear the board. If you can't, I know it's not always possible. If you can, do it, because those bonus rewards at the end are worth it, especially in Siege. But and especially in Blitz, which it may not seem as much, but it is. In terms of advice for Showdown, there is no real advice, because the way that the opponents come up are very varied, especially for me at 70-11. So you just have to try to build the best team that you can and go at it and try to get as high as you possibly can. Wraith, there are tips to put it this way. You would rather build your roster, your overall roster, with the goal towards Wraith as opposed to Legend Showdown or Blitz, because Blitz is more reliant on the depth of your roster, like having a full complete roster. Legend Showdown is just, you get some bonus tunes, but you have a whole different variety. There's not really much advice to do it, because it's just basically hammering a nail. It's not really, there's no strategy to it. With Wraith, the thing, okay. Especially if you're very, very early in the game. I had to do this before and it's a pain. Let me double check and make sure that, yeah, okay, so that. And actually, yeah, to reiterate on Showdown and Blitz, have the best roster as you possibly can, get up as high as you can. If you can't, if there's not a whole lot of strategy to it, just build the best team that you possibly can with your roster. Showdown and Blitz is more about the depth of your roster, the depth of your highest level tunes, as opposed to any kind of real strategy that you can use. I mean, there's strategies you can use in Showdown. With Blitz, if you don't have a lot of developed alien tunes, then you just don't have a lot of options. All right, so I'll leave that alone. Now we go to Wraith. Wraith, the sweet spot for Wraith. I talked about this before and I said it wrong. The sweet spot for Wraith is level 60 gear 9.5. What is 9.5 level gear? Maybe I should explain that first, but I will come back to that. With Wraith, the problem with Wraith is that if I go in and look at a board, because I'm 70-11 and because I'm at the higher end of the players in the game, I end up with a lot of, I have a lot of 6 and 9 point matches, right? A lot of 3 to 6 point matches. That will be difficult and hard for me to complete, but because of the being at the quote unquote nearer to the top of the pyramid, there are fewer opponents for me within Wraith Arena that will give me the points necessary. The amount of points that you get from Wraith Arena is based on this. The top end of your roster, averaged out. Now, I'm not sure if that's the top 6 or the top 8, but the top end of your roster, averaged out in terms of like team power. Once they have that number, then you go into Wraith. Wraith will give you different teams within Wraith, and if the team is X amount, 10,000 stronger than you, then it is a 20-point battle for you in Wraith. I only have 6 to 9s because not a whole lot of teams are 10K stronger than me. But that's why the sweet spot is, I'm 70-11, the sweet spot is 69.5. Because at that level, your tunes are strong enough to withstand punching up high above their weight class, especially if you have a very deep roster. That means you'll have a lot of options of what you can do within the battle. If you have, let's say I don't know how many, but let's say there's 250 tunes in the game, and 200 of them that you have are 60-9-5, then that means you have a deep enough roster at that same level to where you can face, 70-11 and 80-11 tunes and have a good chance so long as you use the right strategy when facing each team. But that also means that since those teams are going to be a lot stronger than you, have a lot of 20-point matches. Now, why does that matter? Because when you come over here to top heroes, this is based on the total number of points you have. Right now I have 1,800 and I'm just above 1,500. If I had a bunch of 20-point matches before, I would have a lot more points, a lot more trophies, and I would be a lot higher up in the ranking. Now, for those of you who are like, oh, well, you're 70-11, you're strong, shouldn't be much of a problem. Wrong, because once I get those points up, that becomes a problem. So I've had the situation twice now where I was trying to get into the top 100, okay? One of them was for Red Hood, and I actually made it for Red Hood. The other one, I don't remember who it was for, and it's probably because it hurt me too much and twisted the heart. No, was it Azrael? I don't know. Anyway, I needed those 310 frags because I wanted to take my Red Hood to L5. So I basically, instead of trying to do what some people do, if you're 70-11, the method that has worked for me for getting the top 100 and is still not guaranteed is you need to grind every day, not just the first day or not just the last. I had an alliance mate of mine say like, hey, all you have to do is just wait till the last day and then see where you are and then you can grind. Okay, maybe if you don't have anything to do that day. Maybe if you're not going to school, maybe if you don't have a job, maybe if you don't have kids, if that's you, more power to you. I'm jealous, but I have to go to work. So basically the way that I went about it was I did more than enough grinding each day. So those PvP packs, those PvP energy packs that you have, they cost 100 gems. So I would buy 3 to 4 of those a day and grind. That was basically the method. And so that means I was doing anywhere between like, oh wow, now I think about the math, 60 to 70 PvP fights a day, trying not to lose. Not just doing them, but trying not to lose. That's a lot. I'm just realizing how much no wonder I was tired after that. Like after grinding that first time and I actually got the Red Hood like frags, I was so exhausted. Now I understand why. I kept my eyes in that game. Ugh. Anyway, Now, here's the problem with that. That time I got it. I spent somewhere between, and I had the math written down, but somewhere between like 4,000 and 5,000 gems just to get to top 100. Now, does that work? In terms of frag to gem ratio, it does work. But in terms of the time you put in the grind, it sucks. Let me just tell you, it took a lot out of me. But, and good frag to gem ratio is 30 gems for one frag, if I remember that correctly. Dr. Zabaro, that's the tip from him. If I'm incorrect, I'll put a pinned comment below, but I'm pretty sure, I always feel insecure when I say this, but it's 30 gems to every one frag is like a good gem to frag ratio. Now, when you look in the store, what you'll see is they'll sell sometimes 250 frags for 11,000 gems. Well, here, I just got 310 frags for, let's just say the top, and let's say it was 5,000 gems. That's already a better value than what it was in the shop for all those. I get more frags for 2K less gems. So if you're willing to invest the time, then it's worth it. Here's the negative side of that. You're gambling. So the other tune that I was trying to go for, whom I cannot remember at the moment, I didn't make it. And the problem is that the drop off from 100 to 1500 sucks a lot. And so when I didn't make it, I got like 102 or 103. I was so furious. I dropped all the way from 310 gem frags to 195 frags. And I lost 4,000 to 5,000 gems for no reason. Because I can get into the top 1,500 without spending any gems all week. That's fine. But when I just spent 4,000, 5,000 gems just to try to get the top 100 and didn't even get it, that hurts. Especially with all the time you have to invest into it too. Now remember, I was doing like 60 to 70 battles a day. So 60 to 70 battles a day over 7 days, spending 4,000 to 5,000 in gems. And then I still end up in the same place I would have been if I had not done any of that. So it's a risk trying to go for top 100 as a 70-11 or up player. If you are 69.5, level 60, gear 9.5, then it's far easier for you because the matches you have will be higher point value. It's just the way that it is. Now, what I will do before I get into Siege is I'll go back and explain what 9.5 is. And I hope I explained this correctly. Dr. Zabaro explained it to me like years ago, and I got the concept, but I don't know if I can relay the concept on to you guys. So let's hope I can. All right, I'm gonna go down here to a tune that is not 70-11. That is going to take a second. All right, humble brag. Let's go with, well, they're all, okay, let's go with Constantine, all right? Okay, so Constantine is halfway done-ish. So let's say that he's level 60, right? What I mean by 9.5 is that every tune has what is called a base stat, which is like they're either strength or their special damage. Let me see. While I'm over here looking for stuff. Oh, I should have taken a physical damage. Strength, base stat. Strength isn't going to be too important for Constantine because let me go take a physical damage character. This is so much easier to explain with them, for me at least, so forgive me for being a moron. She's only level 41. Why do I have her legendary? Whatever. So you will see here as soon as strength, you see the STR there, STR. If you go for the gears that have STR on them, let's see here. Where are the other ones? There's another one there. And then that's there. So those three, if I take those three gears at 60, so I elevate those to gear 10, those three gears to gear 10, the three gears with STR for strength. If I level those up to 10, and then I leave the others at 9. Now I've accomplished 69.5. The others are multipliers to strength. Strength is the base stat. The reason I'm uncomfortable saying that about the intelligence characters, the special damage characters, is because I legitimately cannot remember which one is the base stat and which one is the multiplier for them. That is on the wiki that I need to go look up, and I should probably put down in the comments below or in the descriptions below, which is for special damage. And you know what? Let me see if I can figure it out. This is probably not a good thing to do live. And I'm not going to cut this video because I won't even have the time to. I think it's SP damage. There's strength there, but let's just hold on for a second. S damage, that's 1, 2, 3. Because the thing I can't remember is if it's, I think it's intelligence. Intelligence is the base for special damage, and strength is the base for physical damage. That's the one. That's the story I'm going with. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but that's the one that I'm going for right now. Intelligence is the base stat for special damage characters, and then strength is the base for physical damage characters. And so if I go through Constantine's kit real quick, let's see if I'm wrong, then it's the S damage. Intelligence there, intelligence there, intelligence there. Oh, is that another intelligence? There's another intelligence. So it must be special damage. It must be special damage is the base, and then intelligence is the multiplier. Glad I double checked on that because I'm seeing S damage everywhere. Good. All right, so. Okay, that makes more sense to me now. All right, so, or not makes more sense to me, that's kind of clarified now. So S damage is supposed to be the base for special damage, and then in fact, where are you at? Where are you at? Are you special damage? Mr. New Guy? Nope, you're physical damage. I'm sure this makes for riveting YouTube. Me going through all the characters. Oh, special damage guy right here. Boo. So S damage, S damage, S damage all across the top. And then intelligence, intelligence, and intelligence. Right. Okay, so S damage, special damage. That is your base for special damage characters. If you want to take them to 69.5 or any kind of half, then you add the base. You get the base stat, the base gear for them. Those 3 gears. That'll take them to the half. Physical damage, you take strength, STR. So that explains the half gear, basically. Now let's go back to Siege. Siege. Oh, Siege. Siege, I was lame at, still lame at. I know the basic principles behind it and what I should be doing. I just end up not doing it. A lot of times because I don't have the requisite bonus characters. Now, I'm going to go into my battle log, which here are the conditions. You should always clear your battle log. I haven't even done one battle in my battle log yet, not during this whole thing. I mean, it shows you how eager I am for the Batman Who Laughs. How do you make a Batman fan not care about the Batman character introduced? Oh, and someone said somewhere where they saw that he's supposed to be A tier, and I must be missing it. I must really be missing it. So maybe I hope I'm 100% wrong. I hope. Anyway, so when it comes to revenge matches, don't even bother doing the revenge match unless you have at least 2 of the bonus tunes, because then you're just wasting the siege energy. If you have 2 of the, okay, so for this match, for example, I'm not actually going to go into it, but I'll show you how I would build it. So they have a Barda, I'll put my Barda in, check. Now, because they have Barda in, I'm going to put in Black Manta, check. They have a Lex, I'm tempted to put my Lex in. And here's the thing, as much as I complain about Wraith and how people do the same thing over and over again, which I have been doing lately myself, I have been putting the Martian Manhunter and the Azrael and Dakota and the Black Flash or the whatever. I've been doing like a lot of boring, just get it over with teams. To be fair, as much as I complain about that in Wraith is where I experiment and have fun, unless there's some frags at the end that I really want to get in to be kind of safe about it, be conservative. Wraith is where I just have fun and I just throw random things together. Siege is where you need to be boring as hell. You just want to win because you're trying to get those frags. The siege energy is scarce and you don't want to waste it. So if you're not trying to waste it, then there is no time to put in flare or to try things or experiment. Experiment with it in Wraith and then bring it back over here to siege. Because you really want to, if you're really trying to pursue getting as high as you can, then the siege energy has to be damn near sacred to you. You have to be careful with how you spend it. Part of that is when you go into these revenge matches, don't do revenge unless you have at least 2 of the bonus tunes, because then the value of those 2 extra points for the bonus tunes in the revenge match will then be proportional to, will be more than, greater than the value you would get from using 5 of those energy in a regular match. If you only have one bonus tune and you put them in a revenge match, you're actually being inefficient with it. It's better for you to have that 1-5 energy battle than to have the 2 energy revenge battle if you only have one bonus tune. That'll work. Okay? And the more bonus tunes you can add, the better. Here's the other thing about it too. When you come to revenge, revenge is slightly better because it does not matter if you get a 3-star or a 1-star, you still get the same value of points. That is fine. So go ahead and put in, if I know that in this battle, if I set it up this way, that I'm going to lose Barda and I'm going to lose Black Flash, but I know I'm going to win, that's fine. I don't care about them coming out, all of them coming out alive. I just need to win that battle. However, on the other side of this, when I have a 5 energy battle, I have to make damn sure everyone comes out alive, because the loss of 1 tune means you lose 5 points, and no matter what bonus tunes you throw in there, it's not worth losing the 5 points. Sorry. So for me, it is, if I can beat this team with 4 bonus tunes, awesome. That's just better for me. That's 20 points right there. But if I'm going to lose tunes trying to take them out, I'd rather play it conservative. And then let's say this. All right, so I build a team with Shazam and Reverse Flash. So I have all 4 bonus tunes in there. If I take them out, fine, fantastic. That means I got 20 points. But let's say along the way they do in this battle, I lose Reverse Flash. Okay, Reverse Flash was a stupid decision. I shouldn't have made it because Black Flash is going to take whatever reason, right? Now I have 15 points as opposed to the 20 points because I lost a tune that was a bonus tune. I made a move, I tried something, and I lost out on it. This has happened to me before, actually. So then, why is that a problem? You lost 5, but you still had 8 points from the bonus tunes. Well, the problem comes in with the math a little bit later. If I had had Green Arrow in there instead of Green Arrow. Oh, I swear I know how to speak English. If I had Green Lantern in there instead of Reverse Flash, and all of them survived because I put in Green Lantern. I should have, you know what? Just so I don't, Black Adam, okay? I put Black Adam in. Knowing that if I put Black Adam in from the beginning that I would have never lost a tune, you're thinking, okay, well, some of you were thinking like, okay, well, you have 4 tunes in there, you got 8 points plus the 7 points that you would have gotten, so you got 15, that's fine. Yeah, but if I knew putting Black Adam in meant that all 4 of them would have survived, now I have the 12 points of all of them surviving plus the 6 points from the bonus, that's 18. That would have been a better decision to make, is to take out that 1 bonus tune to make sure my entire team survives so I get a better value for the points. And some of you who are probably earlier in the game are like, well, does that really matter? Once you get to know the tunes better and once you understand how it works a lot more, then you'll realize, you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, Harley Quinn is on that team. I'm putting in Black Flash right now. If I get unlucky and she enrages me and he attacks her, that's 1 tune automatically gone. Okay, I'm not gonna have Darkseid at lead, even though he's a bonus. I'm gonna go ahead and put Green Lantern at lead, so that way we don't get enraged. Like, those are the thought processes you'll have to go through for Siege to be extra conservative, just to make sure your team gets out on the other side. So, as I go down the list, so bonus character, don't attack 5 point. Yep, okay, I think I got all that covered. So we are looking good. I've finished PvP. So now we're going to move on to Red Alerts. Red Alerts. What is there possibly to learn about Red Alerts? Well, let me tell you. Red Alerts is one of those things that you should be doing every day. I say to you as I show that I've only done 1 battle so far. It is one of those things you should be doing every day because the resources in it are stupid good for you. Okay? Now the problem with first I'll give you the problem with Red Alerts. And this kind of happens in Wraith as well, but Red Alerts is more dramatically affected by it, and I remember when this happened to me. I did not have a balanced roster. I was just upgrading whatever tunes I wanted here, there, and everywhere. And at a certain point, I was able just to smoke Red Alerts. It was no problem. I could just put on auto. And then at a certain point, I couldn't get past like the 5th or 6th mission, and I'm like, what in the world's going on here? Why can't? And it was consistent for like a week, and I was like, why am I not getting past this thing that I was able to just like not even pay attention to? Problem was is that I wasn't upgrading my roster in a balanced way. So I was having Green Lantern, for example. I can't remember exactly how I made it unbalanced, but I had Green Lantern at 7011. I had Black Adam at 7011. But then my Batman CC and my Wonder Woman POT, they were all down at level 50 gear 9. And so the only two tunes I had that were 7011 were Green Arrow and Black Adam. Everyone else is down at level 50 gear 9. Well, that imbalance that you've just created creates an imbalance of red alerts that will have red alerts kicking your butt up and down. Okay? You have to level up tunes. Really, the way I would recommend it is doing it 4x4, keeping them like I'm going to gear this one up to level 62, this one to 62, this one to 62, this one to 62. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and do this one to 64, 64, 64, 64. Do it in a balanced way with the gears balanced as well. Do that for the first like 8 to 12 tunes. And then you can bring the rest up however you want to, kind of haphazardly, but never going above the level of those top 12. When you decide to take the next step, okay, I'm going from 50 gear 9 to 60 10. Okay, I'm going to do this step by step for the first 12, and then after that, I can go ahead and just knock all the other ones up really quickly. You need that balance because based on the algorithm they have, they adjust the difficulty of red alerts on, again, the top end of your roster. So the top end of your roster is dumb good, but you have 4 tunes that are incredible. They're all 7011, 8011. Everybody else is 59, but that's fine. It's 8011. Yeah, you can just fly through red alerts unless you lose one of them. If you just happen to lose one of them in a battle, now you're trying to put a 50 gear 9 in with the rest of your 8011s, and that one's going to die, and then that one's going to die, and it's going to make the whole team weaker, and you're going to just start losing 8011 characters along the way until you can't beat it anymore. So level everything up as much as you can. There's some who are even more conservative, but to me it's like 8 to 12 tunes all at the same time, all the same level. Then bring the rest of your tunes up to that level. Don't go beyond it. And then once you get to the level you want to be, I'm at 7011 now. I'm not going to 8011. So I can just bring everyone up to 7011 immediately without a worry. But don't do it too fast in the beginning because it will ruin your red alerts. And red alerts is an awesome place for resources. Now, that's the working with red alerts. It's not even really working within red alerts. It's how to build your roster so red alerts don't become a nightmare for you. Okay. Now, the next thing, clearing all these stages. Here is when you want to reset now. 1, if you don't complete it, never. 2, you see these frags here. Perfect example. Now, this isn't exactly the tune that you may want. Harley Quinn, is this quite vexing? Harley Quinn, quite vexing, who I've heard is underrated, actually. She's in the 8 and the 12 spot. Now, if I have a tune that I'm looking to get, that I really want to farm, we're talking Power Girl, we're talking Star Sapphire, we're talking Etrigan, we're talking, Deathstroke if you want. I still think he's like a B tier character. I think he's fun as hell. I love playing with him, but I wouldn't like chase after him really. Unless you're early to mid game, he might still be useful for you. In fact, scratch that. Early to mid game, if you do have like a 70-11 or a 60-10 Deathstroke, he could probably help you out a lot in campaigns. Maybe even PvP. So if I have a tune that I want to farm in 2 of these 3 frag slots, especially if they're in slot 8 and 12, where it's the most, where I'm going to get 37 frags for clearing this, reset this thing at least 2 times, maybe even 3, depending on how many gems you have. Reset it once, and then the next time it'll be 600, reset it again. And then the next time it'll be 900, and then you can just kind of go by how many gems you have if you really want to. But so long as you have those 37 gems sitting there, sometimes all 3 of these slots will have the same. Go for it. At the top end, if it's only 1 and it's on 12, I would lean against it. Maybe you can if you want to, if you're really trying to farm for it, go for it, I would say. And in fact, now that I say it, definitely go for it because there's one key piece of math that I forgot. If it's someone that you're really trying to farm, the first time. Only do it the one time. Technically, when you're doing this, when you reset it, you're only spending 170 gems because you're going to get 130 gems back based on the gems that are already sitting in there. 30, 40, that's 70, plus another 5, that's 20. That's 120. So you're only spending 180 gems. So might as well, right? It's 180 gems for 25 frags. Go for it. But then as you go along, you want to play that math game in your head. So for example, 600 plus minus that 240 is going to be, ooh, wow, quick math, 360. So that is something that you want to try to keep in mind, is that the gems also mean that you're not really spending 300. You're going to get some of those gems back, and now base it on the value of 30 gems to 1 frag. Is this worth it for me? How bad do I want this tune? How bad do I need this tune? If it's for Power Girl, Etrigan, Star Sapphire, Deadshot, Hired Gun, especially early to mid game, go for it. Reset it once, reset it twice if they're in more than one slot. I think that's it for Red Alerts. The tunes I would recommend refreshing for: Catwoman is awesome and very underrated. Huntress is awesome and very underrated. Deadshot, Hired Gun, I already said. Etrigan, Power Girl, Star Sapphire. Arcus is in here. I think all of you know how terrified you should be of Arcus. I believe that is it. So, yeah, that's it for Red Alerts. So now let's move on to the upgrade events. Now the upgrade events, I believe it was Adam Ellis who was saying this. This is where you want to spend your gems. This is where I spend my gems. I do not like to buy gem packs unless I just get desperate or impatient, and I don't recommend that for anyone. That's why my savings account looks like a hot mess. It's because I'm very impatient. Be patient, okay? Save your gems. Do as I say, not as I do, as the old saying goes. Anyway, so basically when it comes down to it, these are the events that you want to use your gems on. For me, upgrading your characters as much as you possibly can, so that way you have a stronger overall base and a more balanced roster. Refreshing these is 100 per. There's really not much for me to say about them other than there is one debate that I was having with my alliance, and I'm not even sure whether I was right or they were right. I'm not sure who's right in the situation. When you go into one of the upgrade events, one of the upgrades for gears, you have the option of, when you're trying to farm the gears for the scarce level 2, whose name I cannot remember, of course, but it is a scarce level 2, and the scarce level 3. Scarce level 3, I can just go ahead and just figure it out right here, is the Inertron piece. Sure. And then the scarce level 2 is, if I can get out, is that? No. Yeah, that one. The nth metal piece. Those are the 2 scarce ones, right? Level 2 is scarce, and level 3, the other one is scarce. Now, when you're farming these to level up to level 70-11, I kind of raised this issue of, do you farm node 3 for level 2 and load node 5 for the level 3 gears, or do you just farm node 4, which gives you both? So that is the one that is like kind of in the air. And honestly, as much testing as I've done, the difference between them is minimal and can go back and forth either way from day to day. I've gone back to the 3 and 5 method as opposed to the 4 method, but just for your edification, that is what that is. When it comes to gearing though, just a side note, whenever I go from 60-10 to 70-11, I'm doing it on a Sunday and I just want to get it over with, that costs me about 4,000 gems, okay? For those of you who slow gear, then you have a level of patience I will never understand, because having to go from 60-10 to 70-11 for one tune will take you anywhere between like 4 to 5 weeks. I'm a part of a great alliance. I get gems from R.E.D, so I just spend the 4,000. I'm not waiting 5 weeks. So there's that for the gear events. I definitely recommend putting your over buying packs. I do not like buying packs in the shop. I would say put the gems towards the gear events, the upgrade events. When you get to the red, black and white rings that you want to get, Node 4 for each of these events, for the Fearsome and Essential Powers event, Node 4 gives you the best drop rate for blue rings, okay? So if you have enough white and you have enough black, go to Node 4 if you're really scarce on blue rings. Node 4 for both of these events has better drop rates for the blue rings. But at the same time, Node 4 and 5, that's where you're getting your white and black rings, okay? For purple, do as I say, not as I do. Never miss this event. Never miss this event. Never miss this event. Purple is very scarce. It's hard to, not even very scarce. You burn through it fast, especially when you get up to legendary characters, especially when you're going L4 and L5. Always do it, even if you don't need it. Just always do it, always do it. Thursday is a big deal for you. Get the purple essence, okay? Let's see. Done that. Yep. Oh, wow. Okay. So, kind of flew through that one. I thought that one was going to take a little bit more time. Okay, so now one thing I'll share as a tip, now we're talking about purple essence, is that who's an example? Okay, you know what? I just said his name not too long ago. Let's go ahead and go for Doomsday. Doomsday, I even bought the skin because I hate this one. What is this? Is a demonic rock trucker? I don't know. He looks like, what is it, the Fraggle Rock guys? Does anybody remember Fraggle Rock? How old am I? If you don't know Fraggle Rock, Google it. Anyway, can't believe I just tossed out a Fraggle Rock reference. In any case, when it comes to this 100K of purple essence, because purple essence is very hard to come by, whenever I want to do a purple essence farming for 100K of purple essence and I don't want to wait and I'm having to do it through an event, that will cost, depending on how low I am on the purple essence, it's a grip. It's a lot. Around about 5,000 gems, 6,000 gems. So, in any case, here's how I value it. I look at the legendary point. Is this a character I'm going to take RB1 in the first place? With Arcus, and I'll go back, I'll do Arcus later as another example. But for L5, I am trying to decide whether or not this gain 25% turn meter up and 1 speed up is worth 100,000 purple essence. Part of the evaluation is, how often am I planning on using Doomsday? Is he that great of is everyone telling me how incredible he is? Etc., etc., etc. Is that ability worth 100,000 purple essence? I'm leaning towards no, despite the fact that I love the 25% turn meter and I like the speed up. The reason I'm leaning towards no is because I don't plan on using Doomsday that much. So I'm not about to waste 100,000 purple essence on him. Maybe you'll use Doomsday all the time. I don't know. And maybe you'll think that's totally worth it, having him RB1 or whatever. Good for you. For me, not worth it. But if we go back over to, for example, my lady over here, Big Barda. Big Barda, I took L5 as soon as her rework came out, and the reason why was because the last legendary point I took was 100% additional damage if Big Barda is taunting. Now, I like that extra damage. That's great. However, the main reason I took her to that L5 level was because I was planning on using her as my main taunter, and so I needed that stats boost from taking her up to L5 in order to make her more viable as a taunter. And so far she's been great for me, so that was worth the investment, right? Now we're going to go into another one, and this will be the last one I give for this example, and that would be, come on, really though? All right, Arcus. Arcus I haven't taken L5 yet because, however, I'm going to take him RB1 relatively soon. I'm not really desperate for it because of no other reason that this thing here, the gain and overheal and 10% shield if target is killed, don't really care. Don't really care for that at all. But I want him to be RB1 because then he'll just hit harder. So it's kind of the contrary to Barda where she can take harder hits. He can deliver harder ones. So if he's RB1, that gives a stat boost that will help him crack skulls, basically. So that is those are part of the evaluations that I use. How often am I going to use this character? How important is that last legendary point? Is the stat boost they get from taking them L5, L4, L3 going to make them more viable than not? Another character who I want to take L3, L4, and maybe even L5. Well, I just need to make her female. All right, that'd be Starfire. I did a video on her before. She was very disappointing, but I know a large part of that was because she's only L2. As soon as I get a chance, I'm gonna take her L5 or L4 at least to see if that makes her hit harder. So there you go. That is how I would evaluate when and where to spend. And in fact, for those of you who are not anywhere near legendary, do the same thing for green essence. You're going to want to develop all of the characters you have to a certain degree. However, when you're trying to decide which ones, go ahead and say, who am I using more? Who have I heard the best things about? If you're choosing between trying to put Green Essence into Green Lantern or Batman CC, I am a Batman fan. Put him in Green Lantern though. Green Lantern is way better in this game than Batman CC is, and is way more viable towards the end game than Batman CC. Now also develop your Batman CC, but if you have a choice, if you have to choose between the two, then choose the one that's going to give you more utility overall. So, wow. I'm at 45 minutes. I'm a guy who really knows how to talk. Don't even need no help. All right, so now last but not least, this is the series that I was trying to make, and I'm going to try to be fair about this, as fair as possible. I want to go through each campaign node in Heroic, starting from chapter 1, and go through and say which ones I feel are worth farming and which ones are not. But this might go faster than I expected it to, because I'm not going to go too in depth. I'm going to give you brief things about their kits if I know them. Heads up, Yellow Sinestro I don't really know much about. I did do a video on him in the chapter overview. That was the beginning of that series. That is out there. It's on the channel, but meh. So, Heroic Node 1, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, farm that every day. The only reason I farm Batman CC every day is because I'm praying to God for a rework one day, and hopefully they'll give him one, and I have a bunch of his frags. But Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, of all the heroes in chapter 1, is the most in-game viable, and not just in-game viable, but in-game awesome. Like, he is boring but awesome because he gives you what you need to enhance your entire team. Zatanna catches a lot of hell, but she's not as bad as everybody makes her out to be. She does remove buffs on her A3. She does heal on her A2. She does hit solid. She does have solid hits. She's a solid character. Solid tune. She needs a slight stat boost, and she would need to change the heal to an overheal, and then she's in-game viable. But as far as early to mid-game, that's more where she fits in as a role. And she'll help you out a lot, but she'll fall by the wayside relatively quickly. Batman is not nearly as bad as everybody says he is, but he's just a victim of power creep. He still hits hard as a truck, but there are so many other options that let you hit so much faster, so much better than the things you have to do to kind of ramp him up to get him to do the thing that delivers his highest damage, which is his A3. That A3 can one-shot Mystics easily, but you have to make sure that he's invisible so that you make sure that it crits and. His A2 does make him invisible, gives him evasion ups, but not as viable of an option to help him with survivability as you think it would be in the end game. And then his A1 does silence. So he's good, you can make him work, but there are just way better options out there. He's really for the early game player. Mid-game some, and then in-game he's gone. The only thing I can say about Sinestro is that I've never even leveled him. I don't see him in PvP. I didn't see him in PvP when mid-game, didn't see him in PvP when I was in early game. Every once in a while, he pops up. Good. I have nothing on him. I read through his kit and thought that his kit sounded better than I was giving it credit for. But as far as should I farm him, should you farm him? No, ignore him. He's not even worth the time. All right, so we go back here. Bane. I am biased here. Bane is incredible. I have him RB2. I love Bane. However, Bane is one of those characters, like I said about Harley Quinn, And I have to be fair, he's very, very RNG dependent. When he starts ramping up and when he goes nuts, then it's just a sight to behold. It's incredible, and I absolutely love it. But very RNG dependent, so there are chances where he won't come through in the way that you would like him to. So he does have an out of turn when he's overhealed. On his A2, he gives himself mins. He gives himself over. He stuns on his A3, and then his out of turn when he's overhealed lays down a bunch. I think it's like 4 strength downs. There have been 1-to-1 standoffs with Bane versus Power Girl, and usually I win those 1-to-1 stand. Like if I'm Bane and I'm going against Power Girl, usually I win. Power Girl's kit is heavily reliant on strength ups. He gives more strength downs than she gains strength ups, and so at the end of the day, he just completely neuters her, and she can't do any damage to him, and he can continue to do more and more and more and more damage to her. So I'm biased towards Bane, but I love him. Green Arrow, Emerald Knight. I have to give you the word of others. Apparently, he's incredible. I left him at 60-10, and I'm leaning toward where I've said this before. I'm leaving him at 60-10 just so I can do those comparison videos for new tunes that come out when they hit 60-10. But from what I understand, he's great and someone that you definitely should upgrade as soon as possible. He is one of those early to late game viable tunes along the lines of Green Lantern, although Green Lantern is better. Green Arrow, Emerald Knight is definitely viable in the end game as well. Cyborg is more early game. He'll be helpful for you in the early game. However, he needs a lot to ramp up. That would be good in PvE content. That will help you out. However, in my opinion, taking him above 60-10, hell, even taking him to 60-10 might be a waste of resources. So if you want to ignore Cyborg, go for it, because I do. Huntress, extremely underrated. She is very, very, very useful when it comes to facing those revive teams that can be a nightmare, because she gives a heal immunity on all of her, I think it's called Big Gun Shot. Like whenever there's an enemy that's 25% health or lower, then she will automatically do an out of turn attack. Like there's like a 70% chance or 50% chance that she'll do that with a heal immunity attached to it, so then they don't revive. So I call her the cleanup crew, because she's very good at cleaning up after other people's messes when they don't finish. You don't finish your food, then Huntress will take care of that for you. So I think she's great early to late game, not on the level of Green Lantern, probably more along the level of Green Arrow, Emerald Knight. Chemo is a fantastic taunter since his rework a while ago. He's been great. If you need a taunter, definitely go for Chemo. He will be in-game viable, and he can be a part of some extremely frustrating compositions. So, Chemo is very good. Is he the best taunter in the game? No. But again, as I'm trying to tier these off in my head as I'm saying this out loud, Green Lantern is the diamond, and you have the tier below, which is Green Arrow, Emerald Knight, based on recommendations from others. That's the one I can give. Huntress, based on my own experience, she should be in that second tier. Chemo, yeah, he should be in that second tier as well. He's not quite at the level of Green Lantern Hal Jordan. I would use him more than Huntress-ish, but he's not as useful as Green Lantern Hal Jordan is. Lex, he used to suck, and you guys will never, you newbies, you youngsters, you won't know how terrible Lex survival suit was. He was garbage, but now he's definitely in-game viable, even more so than Green Lantern Hal Jordan in some cases. Depends on where you're going or what you need from him. But he's definitely up there in that diamond level with Green Lantern Hal Jordan. If you don't know, then you better learn real quick. Definitely farm this node. He gives you overheal. He gives you turn meter up. Anytime an ally buffs, that's what he's doing for you. And I'm back. Oh, yeah. So like I said, I didn't have much time now what is yesterday to finish the video, but I'm back to try to finish this. We had just completed chapter 2, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I go back, I think the last one was Lex. And again, turn meter manipulation, overheal. If anyone on the team buffs, then you get overheal and turn meter manipulation. Like, he is a great lead. He's definitely in-game viable. he's right up there on that diamond tier with Green Lantern. So next we'll go to chapter 3. And and also I had a chance to go back and look at some math in terms of like gem expenses. So I'm gonna try to do another thing right at the end about PvP, Alliance, and gem spending gems and good ratios. I said 30-to-1 gem ratios, good. 30 frags to 1 gem, more like 20, 25. But in any case, I'll go over it. And in fact, 20 is like awesome. 16 is like awesome. So I'm going to do that later on in the video after I get done with campaign. I'm going to try to do campaign as fast as possible because like right now I have 30 minutes to do this. So let's see if I can get it done. So in any case, chapter 3, Cheetah, definitely farmable. She is just about on that diamond tier. I would say a step, like she's on the tier. She's like on the edge of the diamond tier because she is a viable counter to Martian Manhunter. He is very big in the meta right now. As a lead because she gives your whole team turn meter boost. She gives strength ups, she strips, buffs. In fact, I may not be giving her enough credit. She's a really great lead, so definitely someone that you should farm. Chemo, we've already been over. Green Lantern, we've already been over. Harley Quinn, I believe we haven't been over Harley Quinn yet, have we? And she's only first farmable in chapter 3. Shocking. Harley Quinn, infuriating, RNG dependent, a lot like Bane in the sense of you can't always rely on her, but she is an S tier 2 in terms of evasion and in the taunter. She's one of the best in the game, despite the fact that a lot of times it feels like when she's on your team and you're playing offensively, she doesn't evade. But whenever you're going against her, for some reason, you can't touch her. So she's a great taunter. I think you get a lot of use out of her. So I would say farmer, she's definitely in-game viable. She's definitely worth putting an investment into. Batman, we've already talked about. Bane, we've already talked about. Green Lantern, Cheetah, Yellow Sinestro. Wonder Woman, POT, is great early to mid-game. She can be used in the end game if you're insisted upon using her. If you really just like her and want to use her, you can use Wonder Woman POT. But there are just way better leads out there. She is another victim of power creep. Her kit is actually damn near perfect already as it is for what she's doing. All they need to do is just boost her power up a little bit and then she'd be like right there back in game viability. Let's go backwards this time then. Flash. I love the Flash. I like him a lot. I think he's great in this game. He's A tier to me. Definitely worth farming, definitely worth investing, definitely worth using in the end game, especially if you're running him with Lex because his A1 has a buff on it, his A2 has a buff on it, his A3 does not. But I use him to make like semi-automatic teams. When I say semi-automatic, it's like a team that has one move that you have to do, then you can put it on auto and take off. I would do that with him under Lex, run his A2. He does out-of-turn attacks. He does multiple attacks. He can be really devastating, especially when he gets going. Huntress, I believe I already spoke about how she's underrated and has heal immunity on all of her abilities, so that helps with the revive team. So I won't go into that, but definitely farm her frags. Cyborg, I believe we went over. This is the problem when you had to do it, when I had to interrupt all of this. Cyborg, yeah, I already went over Cyborg, so I'm not going to go through him again. I was on chapter 4. Let's see, Yellow Sinestro, but Solomon Grundy. Based only on the fact of me facing him, he is a good taunter. He's tanky, he's hard to bring down. I don't have him developed, so I can't speak on him from an offensive perspective, but I run into him plenty in PvP. He is used fairly often, not the most often, but so from my experience facing him, I would say farm him. He's a viable taunter, great mystic taunter, tanky as all get out, and has a revive, and can hit pretty damn hard. So I would say go ahead and farm him. We've already been over Zatanna, Green Arrow, Emerald Knight, and Lex. So let's move on to the next one. Hawk Girl, S tier in my view. A lot of people may just say she's A tier, but she stuns on her A1. She gets turn meter up when there's a stun. She has an AoE attack. She can purge debuffs. So I actually really, really recommend farming Hawk Girl. Cyborg, been over. Cheetah, Green Arrow. Oh, these are starting to repeat. Dr. Fate. I have not used him. I have not developed him. From what I understand, he can hit pretty hard, but he is slow as all get out, and I think he needs to be ramped. I don't see him. I saw him a little bit in the beginning and the mid game, now in the end game, and even then it was rare. And now I haven't seen him, not really. And I'm assuming the only times I do see him is when he's one of these special bonus tunes for your alliance. I guess that's why he's get tossed in. But oh, that's all of those. This is going by faster than I thought. I guess there's not so many that are farmable. Star Sapphire, farm her. She gives strength downs, intelligence downs, buff immunity. She hits pretty damn hard. So overheal, gives awareness and overheal when she falls. If she does manage to fall, she is a great tune. Definitely, you want her on your team. Runs great with Darkseid. Runs great with Lex. Yeah, she runs great with everybody, and she even has this passive where she gives mins to those that buff. I think it's like a 50% chance, but she's incredible. So definitely farm her. And Red Alerts as well. Everyone here we've already been over, so I guess it's just time to move to Chapter 7. This is going by with Green Lantern John Stewart is a massive disappointment. He hurts because I've told a story before where when my uncle first started working at Turner, he gave me a Justice League poster that had the black Green Lantern on it in 2000. I was so excited because as much as I don't want to go into anything political, representation does matter, and seeing a cartoon that had a black superhero was awesome. It caused a big controversy in the Turner Studios, which I'm from Alabama. It was in Atlanta. You can figure out why that was. So even though I don't like the Lanterns, I started liking John Stewart, especially since he was also military, and a lot of my family, my uncles, my sister, they're all military. So he had a like special place in my heart, and he sucks in this game. I'm sorry. And so it's a massive disappointment for me. I wish he was better, but he's just not good. Don't go out of your way to farm his frags. He's had like 2 reworks, I think, maybe even 3 since I've started playing the game, and each time he's not improved. So I have him 70-11. I've tried to use him. He's not worth it. Zatanna, Blackman, Yellow Sinestro, Huntress, Chemo. Hey, looks like we're getting to the end. I thought it was going to take me like another 30 minutes. I'm only 8 minutes in right now. Black Adam. Black Adam used to be a beast like 2 years ago, April 2019. I remember because I was on a flight to the U.S. to go visit family and friends, and I, spent some money on some stuff I shouldn't have. I got like a big deal cleared, and I had some extra cash burning my pocket, so as a reward to myself, I spent a little bit of cash, and it was on Black Adam, which is why I remember it so well, because it was a little bit of cash. So he was good then. He's still good now as a campaign farmer. If you want to get through waves very quickly, he has a 75% turn meter increase when he kills. Then his A2 resets, and that just destroys and demolishes any kind of campaign waves, PvE waves. In PvP, he's not so viable anymore. But I would definitely recommend farming him. I still farm his node just about every day, and I think I have him like RB1 right now. Yeah, I have him RB1. So I would definitely say go after Black Adam. He's not exactly PvP viable, but PvE-wise and PvE content, he definitely murders stuff. Which, it kind of sucks he's at the end of the heroic, but when you have other things like having to do your daily stuff, your daily heroic missions, he makes those quick. The Purple Essence, he is a perfect Purple Essence farmer. Him and Black Flash, they can do it solo by themselves in less than a minute. So that's it. That's all of the farmable champions in campaign reviewed by me. The ones you should go after, the ones you shouldn't. Now I'm going to touch real quick on the PvP and Alliance shop again, and then I'm going to go back to Red Alerts and say something. Actually, and this is the thing I'm trying to correct. As we go into this area, I'm only going to focus on the packs that you buy with gems. And I'm trying to give you a good gem to frag ratio, which is about 30. I would say like 25 or 20, but this is all coming from Dr. Zabaro. 20 is on the great side, 30 is on the okay side. So for example, we take Robin here. You get 35 frags for 1,000 gems. You break down the math, that's 28.5 gems per 35 gems per frag. Now that would seem like a great value. However, anytime you do these 15 to 35, well, number one, I'm way closer to the 15 than I am right up to the 35, so you're already taking that gamble. Number two, on the high end, if you manage to get it, it's still an okay value. If I get anything less, then it becomes a bad value. Saint Walker, for example, 90. That's at 45,000 gems. That puts you at about 50 gems per frag. Not a good value at all. However, you take that by the same token, and I'm making sure that I have it here. Red Alerts. So let's say you have 42 frags. That's what happens when you have when the frags are in every single slot. So all 3 slots, it's like 4, 8, and 12. So when the frags are in all 3 slots, and you reset it, I'm not even counting the first 42 that you got. I'm talking about the next 42 that you get. That means you're spending 180 gems, which remember, you get 120 gems back whenever you refresh. So you refresh for 300, but you're only spending 180 because you get 120 gems back from the 3rd, 7th, and 11th mission. That means that when you divide that up, you're spending 4.3 gems per frag. That's the best value in the game. If you only have it for the top 2 slots, 37 frags, then that means you're spending 4.9 gems on that one refresh. So 4.9 gems per frag. That's the best value. That's why you should be doing red alerts. That's why these packs, unless there's someone that you just really, really want, that's one of your favorite characters from the comics or whatever, or somebody you think is great, Saint Walker isn't used that much in this game. Robin is not good in this game. Bizarro's new. I haven't really evaluated him yet, so I can't really say anything about it. And not new, but he's just had a rework. I haven't evaluated the rework yet, so I can't say much to it, but I'm not spending 7,500 on 150 gems, on 150 frags. I'm sorry, not gonna happen. Now we go into the social part, and that'll wrap this up. So, limited offers, Mega Alliance packs, and then the Mega Arena packs. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the Mega Alliance pack, never buy it, ever. The Mega Alliance pack is random. You spend 10,000 of your Alliance points on these packs, and you don't know which one you're going to get. When by the same token, I can come in here in this Mega Alliance pack, look at the heroes that are there, and then wait until they show up in the limited offers, and then just buy them with those Alliance points that I have so I can target ones. If you are a beginner in this game, then go ahead and target the farmable ones. I know it said, oh, you can farm it while I buy them here. Well, because if you're in the very beginning, you're trying to get as many frags as you can. This will help you progress faster in the game. If you have your Green Arrow or Emerald Knight, for example, Green Arrow, Emerald Knight, or you have Yellow Sinestro, they're farmable. If you have Deadshot Hired Gun, they're all farmable, but then you stack that on top of the frag that you're going to get from the limited offers anyway, then you just progress a little bit faster. You can get them to L2, L3 a bit faster. Once you're in the mid game, I would then say switch your focus over to the more rare ones. So Ares, Clayface, ones that you know are good but you can't farm. I don't know how good Ares is. I think he is. I'm not sure. I don't see him much and I don't have him developed, but Clayface is incredible. So then you would focus buying the limited offers for Clayface. So in this one, if you wanted Wonder Woman DOJ, go ahead and buy those frags. Don't ever get the Mega Alliance pack. It's random and not worth it. However, when you come to the Mega Arena pack, there's two thought processes here. One, the Mega Arena pack, you get 20 hero frags, which is a good value for just, the PvP energy that you're getting, the arena energy that you're getting. And there's nowhere else to spend it, so you have to buy one of these packs. You get 20 frags here, and you get much better rewards. You get energy, you get rings, you get whatever, when you buy the Mega pack. When you buy the big Arena pack, which is what I used to do, I would buy more of those, and I would never buy the Mega packs, because for 1,050 Arena points, I would get 27 hero frags. Now they would all be different, but I was getting different frags. The rewards here aren't as good. I've since switched to the Mega pack. So however you want to go about it, I think the big Arena pack is good value for the frags themselves. But if you want the frags and make sure that you have 20 frags of that character and have better rewards coming out of it, then the Mega Arena pack is where you want to go. Is that it? I think I covered everything. I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching. If you stuck all the way through, just making sure that I'm even just double checking, make sure I recorded everything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you find it helpful. If you have any comments or questions that don't even aren't even like relevant to this, just other questions, things I didn't even touch on or anything like that, then put them in the comment section below. This is Riddle Me This. So typically every week I will release a video answering questions from viewers, from subscribers. And a lot of times I try to have someone with me to debate it, because I'm not the expert. I'm not the know-all, end-all. In fact, if there's something in this that you disagree with, please put it in the comment section below. Everybody read it. Everybody get involved. Give your tips that you found so that people can read along those. I can add them into another video and say so-and-so made this tip or gave this bit of advice. I agree with it, disagree with it, or I didn't even know it. This is supposed to just help everybody out. So disagree with me, agree with me, whatever. Write it in the comment section below, and hopefully it'll help others get along through the game. So in any case, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.